Hey everybody, it's Karen Bentley here. Thanks so much for finding your way to my channel. I'm really grateful we have this time together. Today we're going to be talking about 10 reasons why you should never, ever say the words, I am an alcoholic or I am an addict or anything like it. Are you ready? Let's get started because we have a lot to cover. The first reason is that when you say I am an addict or I am an alcoholic or anything like that, that is actually an attack against yourself. And an attack is not love. And self-love is the answer to this problem and every other problem you might be experiencing. So when you say I am an alcoholic or I am an addict, you are not loving yourself. And you need self-love more than you need anything to get your act together. And that's not going to do it for you. So just based on that reason alone, that it's not an act of self-love, which I need all the self-love I can get, I would never, ever say those words about myself. I don't even need the other 9. That's enough for me. That does the trick. So the first, most important, most provocative reason is that when you say I am an alcoholic or I am an addict, that is not self-love. The second reason is that when you say those words about yourself, you're claiming that as your identity. And I don't want that as my identity. There's a difference between saying I am an alcoholic and I am an addict and saying I drink too much or I have a dependency with alcohol or I'm drugging too much, it's getting in the way of my life, or I have a problem with drugs. There's a difference between saying you have a problem behavior and claiming that behavior as your identity. Now I realize that saying I am an addict or I am an alcoholic is a fundamental practice in all 12-step groups. And I am not judging the 12-step programs. I am not judging anybody who participates in them. It's obviously worked for millions. I'm just saying it's not for me. And that you can get the same powerful stopping result without saying that about yourself. All you have to do is acknowledge the problem. You don't have to make it your whole life if you don't want to. So that's what I have to say about that. The third reason is that the words I am, those are 2 powerful manifesting words. They're the most powerful manifesting words in your toolkit. Why would I manifest something I don't want? Anything that comes after the words I am should be something you want, not something you don't want. And I don't want alcoholism or addiction. So I would never, ever, ever waste those powerful manifesting words on something I don't want. The words I am came from an ancient healing phrase called abracadabra. Some magicians still use that term, abracadabra, to make things appear and disappear. And they were used in the past, in ancient times, as a healing tool and to get rid of diseases and illnesses and conditions, or to break curses, or to prevent bad things from happening to you. And they literally meant, I will create as I speak. That's what abracadabra means. I will create as I speak. It recognizes that the words that you use are powerful. It recognizes that you can speak something into existence. So why would I speak something into existence that I don't want? It works in the inverse as well. If you don't talk about it, it doesn't exist. So I am are manifesting words. Only use them for things you want, not things you don't want. That's the third reason. The fourth reason is that when you say I am an addict or I am an alcoholic, you are putting all your attention on the problem, not the solution. And what do we get more of? We get what we pay attention to, right? I'm going to put my attention here, not here. I want the solution, not the problem. The fifth reason is that when you say I am an alcoholic or I am an addict, you are giving a message to your body. The body translates those words as a feeling. And what's the feeling? Tension, worry, sadness, depression, anxiety. and general dis-ease. You're at dis-ease. You open yourself up to all kinds of energies that you don't want. And this is what you do when you talk negatively to yourself. The famous martial artist Bruce Lee, who's no longer on the planet with us, but he was very popular in the 70s, he brought attention to the martial arts to the United States, and this is what he says about negative self-talk. I'm going to read it to you. Don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke. Your body doesn't know the difference. Words are energy, and they cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Change the way you speak about yourself, and you can change your life. So, negative self-talk has an impact. Seems like a nothing burger, but it isn't. All right, here's another one. The 6th reason. When you say, I am an alcoholic or I am an addict, it is implying permanence. It is implying a condition that you never can change, that you can never get rid of, that came in your DNA or that you got from mommy and daddy, and it can never be undone, or some traumatic event happened to you. And that is simply not the truth. Behaviors come and go. Behaviors can be modified. They can be embellished. They can be refined. And they can be completely eliminated. So it is simply not helpful to think of this as a permanent condition that never goes away, and that you can never recover or never be healed. No, 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 that is not true. Here's the hardest one. The 7th reason. When you say, I am an addict or an alcoholic, you are actually making an appeal for special attention, special recognition, special praise, or maybe special dispensation for what you've done in the past. And this is hard, because we all crave special attention and special recognition. Even when it's in the inverse, we crave it. It's part of the human condition. And I get it. I get if you don't like this idea at all. I get it. But here's what happens when you say those words. Number 1, you're judging yourself as bad, wrong in the past. Number 2, you're bringing your past into your present. You're taking your past and you're tainting the present moment of your life. Number 3, you're keeping it real. You're keeping it alive. You're keeping the problem alive instead of the solution. So for those reasons, you might want to consider it. I'm going to leave this one up to you, but it is something to kick around and at least think about. Number 8. Oh, this is a great one. This is a not so fun fact, but a fact. Did you know that people who believe that they're addicts or alcoholics, people who really believe that that's their core identity, they're the ones who are most likely to relapse many times, rather than people who believe they've got a behavior that, a pesky behavior, a pain in the neck behavior, just a real problem behavior. They're the ones who are most likely to maintain their decision to stop whatever it is that's making their life not work. And, here's the 9th reason. When you say, I am an addict or I am an alcoholic, that is not a happy thought. It is not happy. You are not making yourself happy when you say those things about yourself. And your number 1 job here on planet Earth is to make yourself happy. I know that is a kind of heresy, that we expect our parents to make us happy, and our spouses to make us happy, and our kids to make us happy, and our siblings to make us happy, and our bosses to make us happy, and everybody else to make us happy. But the honest truth is that none of those people came to this rock with the life mission of making you happy. You have to do that for yourself. And, sometimes it's as simple as stop doing the things that make yourself unhappy, and giving yourself that label and identifying with it. That's not a happy thought. You can just stop it. It's as easy as that. That's an easy one. And the last reason is, when you say, I am an addict or I am an alcoholic, and you kind of buy into this whole permanency notion, and, it's this condition that I'm stuck with, and, poor me, that is not an empowering thought. And you, our powerful being, even if you haven't stopped yourself, you can change your mindset. That's an act of power. Even if you haven't stopped yourself, you can change the way you self-talk. That's an act of power. Even if you haven't stopped yourself, you can stop. You can change the way you label yourself. That's an act of power. Even if you haven't stopped yourself, you can change your daily self-care. Even if it's a small act of self-care, you can do something for yourself. That's an act of power. Even if you haven't stopped yourself, you can start slowly changing your friend set. That's an act of power. There's so many things that you can do that are acts of power. And those little things, they accumulate and build up to a big, powerful event of stopping yourself. So you are not powerless. You have plenty of power. You have all the power you need to stop yourself from doing anything that's making you crazy. So those are my 10 reasons. I hope you like them. If you did, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Consider subbing. That would help me a bunch. If you know Oprah, call her and tell her to call me. I'd love to talk to her. And go to my website, KarenBentley.com. I teach the love experience. You give me one day of your life, I give you 7 life-changing tools and a lifetime of being deeply, madly, passionately in love with yourself. There's nothing like it. I can't wait to be with you again. Come back. Bye for now.